The German Football League is altering its revenue distribution model for both domestic and overseas broadcast rights for next season in a bid to help its clubs manage the long-term financial impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. A two-stage plan for revenue generated from the new domestic rights contract between 2021-2022 and the 2024-2025 seasons is being put in place for the top two tiers of German football, the Bundesliga and the Bundesliga 2. The Ultimate Fighting Championship, the UFC, is set to cut about 60 of its fighters before the end of the year. While releasing fighters to ease an inflated roster is not uncommon, the confirmed number for 2020 is far higher than normal. The mixed martial arts promotion has been seen its revenues fall due to having no crowds at events, with the absence of spectators, meaning the UFC has missed out on millions in revenue. That financial toll has begun to bite, with UFC President Dana White announcing the number of departures at a news conference following the last spectacle at UFC Fight Night on the 5th of December. Joining us to discuss the impact of what these decisions mean is Arise News sports analyst Aron Akerejola. Aron, you're very welcome.
Thank you very much.
So for the German Bundesliga, how is this new revenue distribution formula supposed to work? What are they doing?
They're trying to even the playing field, so to speak.
Okay.
And not just even it out. They're looking at how things will play out for themselves, because they're just catering for the top tier of German football, which is the Bundesliga. They're looking at even Bundesliga 2. So all in all, they're looking at how to actually level out the playing field for the first 2 years. All right, that's for 36 teams now. All right, spread across the German Bundesliga 1 and the German Bundesliga 2 to see how they can actually give everybody an even playing field. Now, the point is this. Why it's very unique is that the way the German football and the way the DFL, as they're called, all right, the German Football League is actually run, is quite different from the way other leagues are actually run, being that most of the ownership of the club remains with the fans.
Okay.
Now, there's a rule that is called the 50+1 that came into effect sometime in 1998, which means that if you're not, most of the ownership of the club will be with the fans, that they own 50 plus at least a percent more, so that they can have more voting rights and the rest of them to determine ticket sales and every other thing that happens with the club, sporting directors, employment of sporting directors, and the rest of them.
Right.
And you can only own, a foreign man can only come in and actually own a stake, a major stake in the German club, only if you've been with that team, investing in that team for 2 decades. So most of the time, you have everything residing with the fans. They determine tickets price, and that means that they're not seeing a huge splurge of cash like we see with Paris Saint-Germain, where the Qatari billions are being brought in to shore up the club, or Manchester City, where we're seeing Abu Dhabi billions actually shipping it up, or also Manchester United. So their model is a little bit different. The fact that a lot of the series sides with the fans means that revenues are not overflowing. But at the same time, what that meant was, because they are the ones most affected by the COVID, because when you look at it, a mid-table team, usually the average attendance is more than probably a Liverpool gets on average every season.
In Germany, you're talking about the attendance in Germany, right?
The attendance in Germany. A mid-level team, maybe a Stuttgart, for example, will boast of an average attendance every season, 54,000. Liverpool doesn't even see 54,000 on an average every single season.
Right.
All right, so you look at that and you say to yourself, because of their model, but now that COVID has actually fractured every single model, that means that they have to look for a way to even the playing field. Also, to make it even worse is the fact that because of COVID also, one of their major media partner, beIN Sports, has also pulled out. That means that less money to go around. So the only way to actually structure this deal is to see how they can even the playing field, so that the bigger clubs don't have undue advantage over the smaller clubs, because that's how always been their grounds. How do you level the playing field for every single team in the Bundesliga, so that everyone has a fighting chance? Because we know that some clubs would earn, Bayern Munich, for example, or Borussia Dortmund would earn more, maybe due to other revenue streams, than probably a Stuttgart, like we mentioned, or an Eintracht Frankfurt, for example. So when you look at all that, so that is why this deal is very peculiar. And let's see what happens between now and 2022. Hopefully between now and then, things will begin to stabilize in football. The economics generally, globally, would begin to stabilize. I'll begin to see revenue streams coming back. We'll see fans coming back, and then Of course, it's in a two-pronged, because 2021, 2022, the 2022, 2023, 2023, 2024. So that's
fantastic.
Spread out.
German League, they're estimating a revenue drop of about 1 billion euros due to lack of fans.
Yeah.
Can they recover from that?
It's almost impossible. Like I just said to you, the fans are the nucleus of German football.
Yes. Because
the fans control a huge stake. The fans have a say. Unlike anywhere else in the world, the fans dominate what happens with these clubs. With the fact that fans are not having the opportunity, no thanks to COVID, from actually carrying out their duties and actually doing so much, they've been hit badly below the belt. And the only way to do that is to look for a way, because the Germans were always the first to push to have fans back to the stadium.
Right.
That has not worked out because COVID-19 in Germany keeps rising. They've entered into the second wave and it's still bad. So they're trying to look for that, probably prioritizing lives over livelihoods. So that is why you can't have fans right now in the German Bundesliga. And that means that the longer they have fans away from the stadiums, because of the number of that they see on a consistent basis, they will keep losing revenues. And the only way to actually shore up is to turn to the TV deals and other avenues to make money.
Thank you for that. Okay, let's move to the mixed martial arts and the UFC. They are also looking at $100 million revenue drop from the same issue with fans not being able to.
Because most of all these things, as it is, fans drive some sports. Although the media coverage and the media deals ultimately are some of the biggest deals from some of these sports, but at the same time, low-hanging fruits for some of these entities are based on ticket sales, gate passes, and the rest of them. That has been shattered because you look at it, you're almost earning multiple streams of revenue. You're having fans coming, you have a pay-per-view revenue coming in, you have television rights, because they are signed with quite some big entities like ESPN and the rest of them. All that, so you have it coming from all directions. All of a sudden, the one that is supposed to be a low-hanging fruit, having fans which will actually help cater for the venue and pay for the venue, pay for overheads and the rest of them, all that is actually out of the window. So that means that they have to just depend majorly on TV rights or pay-per-view rights. And if you don't have a big fight, for example, if you don't have an Adesanya, for example, or Conor McGregor or Khabib, then can you pull the numbers on the pay-per-view to be able to even the playing field? It's always difficult. So that is why right now these are difficult times for sporting entities, I must say.
Fantastic. How do you think they're going to because they want to let go of 60 fighters or so, which is a high. Well, how do you determine which fighters you let go? Is it the ones that don't? The ones that are not bankable. Right. You just go for the ones that are bankable. There are few that are bankable because there are major fights are always between the A-listers or the A side and the B side. Right. The A side are the ones that are the money magnets, and the B side try to give the A side a good fight. So they'll just look at those that are not bankable, cut them off, cut the roster off, because usually they actually have a pool that they make that Dana White decides maybe just to help the fighters. He gives them bonuses here and there. You look at the fighters who have not been able to pull in the numbers, who cannot generate massive pay-per-view options for them, and they'll just cut them off and just lean it down and just actually go ahead with all the major fighters, and it will help them for a while to stabilize, because whether you like it or not, everybody wants to still see some of the biggest fighters. Anytime Conor McGregor is the biggest thing to happen to the UFC. So he would always be a seller. Israel Adesanya, the Nigerian, is another massive one. Kamaru also, another Nigerian, is also a money grabber. So those are the people that are golden gooses that are going nowhere. But some that the lesser known names will suffer. Big time. Real quick, less than a minute to go. There are talks of players wanting to get... Okay, we've run out of time. Interesting topic, Aron. Aron Akerejola, Aran's new sports analyst. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your insights on those stories there.